me see if this works. Maybe we can send them.
Hey, it says you're live on YouTube.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. If we can get this thing set up, we can go to YouTube. I'm starting to think maybe
share it to Destiny, or share it to Facebook.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Okay, so now we're on YouTube.
So you're on YouTube, but not Facebook. Man, that is weird.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn my phone down again because the timing is all jacked.
Right.
All right, so now can we tell them to go to YouTube?
We could. Let me, people are asking. I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to post. I'll just post it. Please join us live on YouTube or Instagram.
So I got to turn one of these volumes down.
Right.
See, the timing thing is off on Zoom, so I got to go to the Zoom thing. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna send it out so people should know.
Okay.
Hey, we're gonna figure this out, man.
All right.
When it's all said and done, we're gonna be pros. We're going to be pros.
Lord.
Okay, so I just shared it on Facebook, so hopefully some people hop on.
Yeah, I'm all confused.
Right, and the fact that you got YouTube up is amazing to me. It's like, what? Where'd that one come from? So, hey, we can do YouTube from now on. I mean, that's fine. We pre-record them, send them on. Well, we like to be live, though. So you ready to start this then, man? I mean, and just go from there since you can't figure out the Facebook part?
Yeah,
Hold up. I can copy the streaming link.
I got to hear it. I got to listen to.
I think I figured something out here. I'll go ahead and edit this. I think I might have figured this out on my side to help out. Go ahead and edit this. By golly. We did it. My side to help out. YouTube is live on Facebook right now.
Really?
Yeah, see, I mean, you can look and see if it went through the right way. It's a link to go to YouTube.
All right. So I gotta listen. I gotta figure out who to listen to because this timing is off. So if I listen to you on Instagram, I gotta turn Facebook off.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I can hear you over here. Oh, Jesus.
We'll figure this out, man. Next time we should have our headset. Is it echoing, Jalen?
What's echoing?
He's saying it's echoing on Instagram. I wonder if it's
probably because I've got my volume up, maybe.
Asking that's probably it.
Did that fix it?
Let us know if that fixed it, Jalen. Are we echoing right now? Hopefully not.
Because I've got all my volumes down off now.
Right.
And if that fixes it, I'll put my headphone on Instagram.
There you go.
What is he saying? Is he saying anything?
He's not saying, come on, Jalen, don't leave us hanging. Are we echoing? No more echoes. Praise Jesus. All right, man. We're going to get started then and go from there.
All right, hold on.
I'm going to click
see if I can get this thing to stand up right. with this thing plugged in, so I can't hear squat.
Oh, so you're watching both. Good. That's what I'm getting ready to do right now. Watch YouTube and praise Jesus. That's right.
Say what?
Yeah, he says it's going well on both. He's seen it on Instagram and YouTube. So, which I'm clicking on YouTube right now. Real Talk with Bishop Keith. Started 4 minutes ago.
Okay, so
just a little slower.
All right, yep, so I guess.
All right.
All right, so
we're in business, man.
We're on YouTube from you and me.
Yeah, the YouTube is coming in from Zoom. So
from what I'm doing. That's from what I'm okay.
Here's what I'll do. Let you see this. You see how that's working on there?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of delay in there, but
yeah, but I'll listen to you in this ear.
Yeah, right.
That way I can respond to that.
Yeah, it's probably a good 15, 16 seconds off there.
So. Right, that drive me nuts. Okay, let's go.
Well, guys, we're sorry. We appreciate you joining us in.
Well, it's 12:29. That's it. We're done. 12:29.
God bless you. Let's pray, Bishop. I hope you were enlightened with the word of God today and your spirits.
Jeepers.
Overwhelmed with joy. We'll get started here. Aaron said there's no echo on YouTube now as well. So good to see you on here, Aaron Swearingen. Always great to have you. So, hey, we're going to get started, though, and we're going to talk about, that's right, this is entertainment, Tiffany. And so this is what we bring. This is what it's nasty outside. We're dealing with an invisible enemy, so we got to bring light to some things. And so, but today we're going to talk about some faith as well. Bishop has been talking, I think it was 2 weeks ago you preached and you brought up your vision, or not really your vision, but where God has brought us from day one. So today's topic is simply just the vision of destiny. And some of you have probably been going to Destiny for a while, but maybe never understood or saw or heard the vision that Bishop God has spoken to him. And so hopefully we'll give you some information that you may not have known. Bishop, it's really interesting. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have come up to me this past week, just after this past Sunday when I preached, that just simply watched Destiny for the first time because they knew me. They were friends, people I went to school with, people that have moved away, and but don't live too far away, have asked the question to me, hey, when does your church service start when you guys reopen? And I really want to be a part of this. I've never heard of Destiny, which is, we always hear this statement, like, I didn't even know you guys existed, which is crazy to me. But this is something that I believe when we come out of this, there's a harvest that we're truly about to reap. And I'm not going to wait until we come out. You preached a little bit about that last night, or talked a little bit about that last night, because the harvest is ready. So it's time for us to the gospel can't be silent, but we got to bring forth the gospel. And look what we're doing. We're bringing it to Instagram, and we're bringing it to Zoom and YouTube and Facebook, and we're trying to hit all these avenues. So today we're going to get started. I'm just going to ask a simple question and kind of more of a statement. You fill in the blanks. You've talked about the history of Destiny Christian Center 2 weeks ago in your message. Now, talk to the people about when it all started. I mean, and kind of take us through the point where you really felt like God was calling you in when you were, I believe you was pastoring, but I'll let you talk about that, or associate pastor. I'll let you talk about that and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, fast forward through this a little bit. Got saved in 1982. I was 22 years old. Got involved in music ministry pretty much right away, because that was kind of my gifting. During that time in the 80s, we were transitioning to praise and worship, got involved in all that stuff, stayed at that church, got saved, and stayed at that church as an associate, really an assistant pastor. Eventually, I was a senior associate pastor by the time I left, and doing music, doing administration, teaching, preaching, all that whole thing. But actually, at 23 years old, a year after I got saved, I knew that I would pastor. I knew down in my heart that it wasn't time. So that's a whole nother lesson. But I waited on God to give me the go ahead. So 10 years there at Faith Center, shifted to Christ Temple. I was there 13 years. And as I began to transition out of there, God spoke to me in 2005 and said, hey, it's time. I was 45 years old, okay, at that time. And so that's a whole nother, again, another message. I mean, sometimes traditionally we think, okay, we get out of school, we go to college, we do our thing. These sequence of things didn't happen that way for me in terms of, okay, by 28 to 30 years old, you're pastoring the church and you do your thing. Ideally, maybe that's it. But in my case, I was wanting to wait on God. There were people that were trying to pull me into this whole pastoring thing way before it was really time. But in 2005, God dealt with me pretty strongly about it was time to launch Destiny. So we had a meeting. Both of my kids, there were 5 other people there, in addition to my kids and myself. And we had that meeting, I believe, maybe September-ish of 2005. And then we launched Destiny. Our first service was in January. And so from that point, we started at the YWCA, began to progress, moved to 3450 North Broadway. We were there for 3 years leasing, and then God brought us to where we are right now. And so that progression, as God began to grow us and kind of shape our ministry, we begin to see the things that God spoke to me before we starting to manifest and things starting to come to pass. So,
yeah. You've mentioned in the past that the Lord said something to you when you started Destiny, and help me out if I'm saying it wrong, but you said He told you to start the way you were going to finish. Is it something to that line like that?
Yeah, he told me to start the way you want to finish, and it was interesting the wording that He spoke to my heart about, because it wasn't, at least my recollection of it, it wasn't that He said start like I want you to finish. He said, start like you want to finish.
Okay.
The inference in there, I could tell, of course, He knows all about me. The inference is, what He was saying is, start with excellence, because you want to be excellent. You want things to go well. You want to have a ministry at a certain level. So don't, like a lot of people do, don't start out generic. Don't start out, just throwing stuff together and then say, okay, when we get to this or when we get to here, then we'll start being excellent.
Right.
He said, no, start like you want to finish. So we went way out of our way in the little community room down at the YWCA. We went way out of our way. We bought some carpet. We had it bound around the edges. We had professional level sound. We had decoration. We put up this backdrop in the back. It was pretty intense at first, because we didn't have anything. We were, most people, when they start a church, they just go in a room, they got some chairs, they got a little sound system, they do their thing. We had screens, we had projectors, we had the whole nine, because God said, do this as excellently as you can for where you are. That's a whole nother lesson for everybody, I think.
Yeah, so. It's always interesting, because I've always heard you say that, and I always wondered what people's interpretation. Sometimes when God speaks specific things to people like that, it's good to know what you really feel like He meant. And Jalen's sitting here reminiscing on here. He says, "I remember them days setting up and tearing down every Sunday." So,
right.
I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that today and where we're at now, and why we, but that people caught onto that vision, which is always exciting when I hear about the good old days, so to speak. When I see people that say, "Oh, I did this," I was listening to Eric Petrie, Pastor Petrie, and down in Cincinnati area. He had said the similar statement, and that God had spoke to him almost in a similar fashion, and they've been tearing down for the last however many years since he's left his last building, and but here recently in the last 2-3 years they finally found them that building. But when people see a vision, or when they see what the pastor or the minister is releasing, they buy into it. I for sure see that, and so. Which just kind of makes me think of our next question. With the future looking a little confusing, for our country right now. Tell us what direction Destiny is going from here on out, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, it's kind of hard to say up in 10 years, but I know you're a visionary, that INTJ, you're always constantly thinking of tomorrow, next year, the year after. Where do you see this? I get it. You think way ahead in your personality side, but help the people out that are watching here. Maybe they're not sure where Destiny's going in 2 to 3 years. Maybe give them some insight to what God has been kind of speaking to you. So help them out.
Yeah. Well, our vision and our mission is the same. It's to love God, to love others, and to serve the world. So basically our vertical relationship with God has got to be intact. That's got to be the number one priority, because in so doing, he empowers you to be able to love others. And then you serve the world. Part of what our call is, in particular, we serve our community, certainly, but one of our particular callings is in the area of deliverance and in spiritual growth. And so I used to kind of kick against the pricks a little bit with that, just because the nature of our church, a lot of times we attract people from other churches. And when that first started to happen, it was a little disturbing, because I came up in the day where people talked about church hopping, and they talked about stealing sheep and all that kind of stuff. Like these people belong to us, which they don't. They belong to God. But I've let that go now. Now we don't, try to attract people from other places at all. But if they show up, normally what our call is to push it. And we actually talked about that way back in the early days when we were at the YWCA. And it wasn't necessarily a mission statement or anything like that, but I used to say it all the time. If you come to our church and you don't know Jesus, we're going to introduce Jesus to you. And so we're going to proverbially pull you up to where we are. So from a spiritual perspective, if you don't know Jesus and we know Jesus, then you are spiritually below where we are. So we're going to pull you up to where we are. If you are where we are, if you are saved and filled with the Holy Spirit, whatever the definition of levels are, we're going to pull you along with us. We're going to embrace you and be a part of our. And then if you are beyond us, or your call is beyond us, we're not going to hold you back. We're not going to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you got to stay here with us. Now, we're going to push you on to your destiny. We're going to push you on forward. Right. So those three aspects were a major, major part of the beginning of our church. And it remains the same. We have people come and we have people go. We have people come, and lots of people that have come from perhaps denominational churches that have not been introduced to the Holy Spirit, have not been introduced to the gifts of the Spirit, to speaking in other tongues, interpretation, 1 Corinthians 12, they hadn't been a part of their training, that kind of thing. The fivefold ministry in Ephesians chapter 4, apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher, they weren't familiar with any of those kinds of things. So they come to a church like ours to find out. It's interesting to discover things that are in the Bible. It's a crazy thing. People, a lot of times have not been exposed based on their traditions to the things that are very normal for a church like ours that promotes the Bible. Everything in there, and we don't hold anything back. If it's in the Bible and it is descriptive and prescriptive, we embrace it. So we don't have to understand everything to obey. That's a deception. I don't understand my digestive system, but I still eat. And so our vision for the next several years remains the same. Now, here's the side of it that creates some uncertainty, is that we don't know what this is going to look like. Right. We know what we're going to do. We have some prophetic insight into the fact that what we're dealing with right now, the technology and the things that we have access to, we've got to lean into that. And those churches, those ministries that push back, that refuse to get involved, those that have been slow to, let's say, get involved in electronic giving, websites, Facebook, social media, all that kind of stuff, they're going to be behind. They are behind. nobody really could have predicted this at the ultimate level. We've got some prophetic people that we know personally that predicted some of it, but it wasn't strong enough and universal enough to really influence people's decision making in real time, if that makes any sense. So here we are looking at the next 2 to 3 years, and I've been telling people, everybody's crying, hey, bitch, let's get, when we gonna get back to normal? When we gonna get back to normal? Well, I understand you're saying that, but normal is not gonna look like old normal. And that's the deception, is that if you think your normal is gonna be like it was 6 months ago, that's over. We're done. And so we're going to have to walk by faith. I think sometimes God will push us in areas that he wants us to go in, because we go kicking and screaming because we like normal. We like where it is. We like to know what we're doing. We like things to be in a row. And so I see, as I talked last night, our Bible class lesson was both and. That was the subject. Which, what I meant by that is, it's not going to be either or. Well, we got to do this technology stuff. We got to do this Zoom. We got to do this Facebook. We got to do all this stuff for now. But then we can't wait to get back to the church. We can't get back to it. No, it's not going to be either or. It's going to be both. We've got to lean into this big time, because this is where the young people are. This is where your kids are right now.
That's right.
This is where the younger folks are hanging out. And so if we are fishing, if we are fishers of men and women, then we've got to go where the fish are. You know, I love to fish in the natural, of course, you know that. Well, I haven't been doing any fishing in my yard because there ain't no fish. There ain't no fish around here, and there's no pond. There's no nothing. I don't care how much rain we have. There's no place to throw I can get out there in the grass and throw my little line in. I'm catching nothing because I'm not going where the fish are. It's the same point. We can say, okay, you guys come on to church, come on to church, come on to church. Well, we got to take the church to the people.
That's good.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to lean into this thing. And, I think the problems that we were having earlier, I think that's the perfect lesson for today, for even this broadcast right now, because we fuddled through it and muddled through it and tried this. We were late and it didn't work right. And still, even now, I'm trying to figure out how come Facebook didn't work, blah, 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 blah. And so we're going to have to be tenacious during this uncertain period. And that's a word. I feel that strongly. It's a word for whoever's watching, to don't get so frustrated that you don't follow through and do all of what God is telling you to do. This whole PPP program, I wasn't anything formal, but I had pastors calling me, asking me, how did you guys get the money? How do you do this? How do you apply? Blah, 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 blah. I tried to walk them through it, and I tried to tell them what they needed to do in terms of getting a banker. And I told them, and this is very true, I said, don't allow yourself to get so frustrated that you give up. This is not going to happen anytime soon again, where the government and or the SBA and or the banks, they're relaxing all of their criteria. They're giving hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of dollars away with no collateral, nothing. And so don't let yourself get so frustrated that you say, I just ain't going. Listen, there's too much at stake. And it's the same way as we go with the technology. As a 60-year-old, I'll be 60 in a few months. I've got to figure it out. I can't say, well, I hear guys all the time that are my age and older. Well, I'm not technologically savvy. Well, you have to get a grip, and you better study. You better know what you're doing. And so what we're going to do as Destiny, we're going to lean into, we're believing God right now for a family life center, because that's going to be where people go. They're going to come to play basketball, to gather for this, or we'll be able to loan it out to have different events and things like that. We're going to be in the community. We're not just going to be stuck in the church. Yes, we're going to come and gather. Yes, we love to have church. Yes, we love to have services. It's going to be wonderful at some point in time. But we're going to have to be present in these other venues. And there'll be other technologies that will come on board. If Paul, the Apostle Paul, woke up and knew all the ways that we have to talk to people, I mean, really, he would probably fall over dead. It's like, man, you guys got it made. You mean y'all can talk in front of this screen and I can reach millions of people? Are you serious? I don't have to walk. Come on. And so we have some great advantages. And so I believe part of our call is to take this word. We're one of the leading churches here in our region. And so we've got to use that and use the influence that we have to speak into these generations. And I think one of my favorite scriptures is in Acts chapter 13, verse 36, I believe it already is, where the Bible says that David, he served, that's the word it's used, he served his generation and then he fell asleep. That is very revelatory because it's generic enough to say, whatever generation you were born in, we got to think about this, the uncertainty and all the things that are going on with the pandemic. If you are born and you are alive right now, then you are equipped to fulfill God's purpose right now. We are uniquely designed to be living right now. I don't know if I would have survived if I had been a slave in 1800.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have handled being a slave in 1780 or whatever. You know, I'm born right now and I have been brought into the kingdom for such a time as this, and everybody's watching. You might as well get a grip. You are here right now, and God has given you exactly what you need to fulfill purpose right now. Amen. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to preach. It may be in different ways. We're going to continue to have Bible class. Maybe a different way. We're probably going to lean into the technology. We probably won't gather on Wednesdays quite as much as we used to on a regular basis as a tradition. You know, we'll go every now and then, but we got to go where the people are. We've got people coming from 9, 10 counties. Okay, they're not always going to be able to drive into Muncie. Some of them live an hour and a half away from here. And so, hey, we got to be willing to muddle through the things we don't understand and that are a little challenging. I've said this before, I'll say it right again so that you guys are witnesses. I got to learn Spanish. I've got to get back to that language because that's the fastest, the Hispanic people are the fastest growing demographic in our nation right now. And hello, they speak Spanish. And so if they're in a proverbial Spanish pond and I'm speaking English and they don't understand what I'm saying, how am I going to preach the gospel to them? Not going to happen. So some of these things that are a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit tenuous, a little bit anxious, so to speak, we're going to have to lean into it. And I guess that's what I'm saying as far as our vision. We are going to be relevant. That's a word that I think all of us have to get to. I spoke that last week about being flexible. We got to be able to, we have to be flexible. We got to be chameleon-like. So you throw me in, that's what Paul said, I become all things. So, okay, we're in a pandemic. Hey, how are we going to do that? Okay, we got to be on YouTube. We got to be on Facebook. We got to be on Instagram. We got to preach the gospel. We got to have Zoom meetings. We got to meet with staff this way. It's a little different. I got a mat. When I go out, here it is. Right. I mean, who wants to do that? But you know what? It's in 6 weeks, it's normal for us now. When I see people in a mask and they see me, nobody even responds. Nobody reacts. Nobody says, what you got that thing on for? I mean, it's already, I mean, we don't think about this much, but it's already a new norm as it's transitioning to wherever we're going. So anyway, long answer, but that's what we're going to be doing. You know, we're going to be launching you in a couple years. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that we don't know what that's going to look like right now. Right. We know that you can gather people that I can't gather, so we're going to figure it out. But the bottom line is, we don't know exactly how this goes, and we're going to have to be flexible. That's the deal. If reaching people is our goal. Now, if we just want to have some church and, you know, preach to each other and act like we're doing something, that's a whole other thing. But if we want to reach people, we got to go where they are.
That's it. Yeah. Well, you a lot of people maybe don't understand or know this part, but you know, we've got 3 daycares now. You know, we started off with the one here at our church. You know, here at Destiny East is now what we call it, and then we got the Yorktown daycare, which is on the west side of Muncie now, and here we just recently, in the past year, we've got the central location, which is over there where the old Christ Temple Global Ministries was, and I know God had spoke to your spirit about reaching them at that young age, and so is that going to let up or pick up? Kind of maybe help somebody there. Maybe they don't know what your vision is in that arena. Are we just doing daycares to make money? Or are we doing daycares to impact the children? You help me out here.
Yeah, we got into this business because generally what God dealt with me about is third grade reading levels. That was the impetus that was in my heart to get involved in daycare, to watch children so that we could put godly principles in them, that we could have some place for them to have a safe environment. Because if they can be in a safe environment and instruction comes, they are like sponges. They pick up stuff way faster than adults do, and so we wanted to do that and be a blessing to those that needed childcare. And so that's why we've expanded from 1 to 3. And hey, anything that's worth doing is worth doing well. And anything that's worth doing well is worth being compensated to do. So if it has value, then people are going to be willing to pay. And so that's the bottom line. Sure. Is we're providing a service. We did not get into this to make money. Boy, we've invested literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this stuff going. So hello. That wasn't the incentive, Yeah. And most of them are self-sustaining now. 2 of the 3, the most recent one, we're trying to get that going, which is Destiny Central. We just purchased that. The consummation of that purchase will happen in the next couple of weeks, actually. So the purpose is to put Jesus in these kids. The Bible says to train them up in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. Deuteronomy tells us, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And he goes down, he talks about commandments, and he said, tell them to your children when they get up in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the evening. I mean, basically he's saying, put it in them, indoctrinate them. And sometimes in a negative way that's looked at in a negative, but if you're putting the word of God in them, it's all good. And that's what we should be. That's what we should be doing. And that's the purpose. And of course, we see that early childhood education, ask any of the major foundations, that is the emphasis. It is early childhood education, because people understand if we can get them started well, if we can get them going well when they're young, then when they're old, so to speak, they won't depart. They will do well in their future if they get a good start. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that they're safe, make sure that they're fed, make sure they get good instruction, make sure they get some word in them, that we minister to the parents. We've got people that are coming to our church right now that started out as daycare clients. And so it's like teachers as well, same kind of thing. And so that's the purpose. It's where people are. We got to go where people are to disciple them, to make disciples. Yeah.
Amen. Hey, this is good stuff, man. We should always let the vision be clear to the people. And some people maybe be watching us. We have pretty good, decent viewing on both. Probably about a normal between 15 and 20 people total putting them together. So we appreciate you guys taking your time out. We're sorry we got late started. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out.
Hey, believe me, I'm going to be on here figuring it out. As soon as we shut down, I'm going to go back on here and see, okay, what happened? I had this all down pat, and today it just went blew up.
We're going to get, at least we figured out Instagram. We're Instagram visible now. So that's what we're trying to do, to try to reach out. You mentioned it. My son, Isaiah, made a statement a while back that if we don't go after the Instagram generation, your church isn't really relevant. And I was thinking to myself, what Instagram? But yet, as Bishop said, man, I never realized how much my kids personally get on that. Jalen can vouch for this as well. It's this and TikTok. And
I was going to say, I got to get my TikTok. I don't even know what that's about.
I ain't trying to do no TikTok. What?
I don't even know what that means.
That's right. Well, we got to figure it out. So hopefully we'll figure this out. We got some comments over here on YouTube as well. So I mean, they're interacting. Mainly it's been my boy Aaron Swearingen and yeah. So yeah, we're thankful you guys taking time to join. No Bishop, no TikTok, man. Jalen said, stay away.
He said no.
Man, what if me and Bishop come up with
man? Come on now.
Right. What if me and Bishop come up with a nice TikTok dance video, make it go viral? No, man, we know our age. He's 60.
See, now wait a minute. Don't be counting me out just because I'm old.
All right. Yeah.
My kids, Desiree, my wife, they don't think I got no skills. See.
Right.
Don't count me out. Man. I might be practicing in secret.
That's right. You need to show them that you got some other skills outside of preaching and singing.
That's right.
Now, Desiree said we should have a Destiny Christian Center International Leadership TikTok. Yeah, get the young people on that one.
I got to figure out what it is first.
Exactly. Hey, Aaron did post on here. He says, I'm not all into social media, but I'll YouTube all day. So that tells you a little bit of his age as well. I mean, it pretty much makes sense. That 25 to 35 area, they're YouTube, Facebook, well, Twitter in that realm. So then us old folk are Facebook. So, we're going to do a TikTok. That'll be funny. We're going to make it happen. Trinity always tries to get me to do TikToks with her, man. We have to find a Christian one, a gospel one, because she always plays these songs. I'm like, Trinity, that's bad.
All right. So here it is now. Somebody tell me, since we're live, what the heck is TikTok? I've got it on my phone and I've gone on there for a couple of seconds, but it doesn't make any sense to me. So what is TikTok? What does that mean?
Yeah, somebody give us a better definition, because all I know is it's videos and you record and you got to try to duplicate or you can make up your own dance move to a song. Somebody else help us here.
So TikTok is all about dancing? Is that the deal?
Be. I mean, sometimes it's like a scene of something. So let's say they'll take a part of a movie and then you got to make your lips match up and then you can act out a scene or something like that. So, hey.
Okay. Well,
right. It's what'd they say? Yeah, basically you learn short dance choreography to various songs. Hey, there's an idea. How about we get the Destiny Christian Center dance team on our next TikTok? Y'all make it happen, Desiree.
There you go.
I've got one I'll help you do. I want to do one with you in your doctor robe. Hey, I think this is your daughter. Kiana's like, she wants to see. There it is. There, that's what she thinks she posted right there. No, that's not the one. She posted, I've got one I'll help you do.
Uh-oh.
I want to do one with you in your doctor's robe. That'd be a good one. Good idea, Kiana. Let's make it happen.
Oh, shoot.
I think we're deleted, by the way, off of Instagram because you only get 1 hour total. So just to give you a heads up on that.
I don't know what I did. I think I just killed it. I think I just did something.
It's just 1 hour, so we're good.
Am I back?
I mean, you're on I don't know what we're on.
I think we switched places on Instagram.
Well, what happened on Instagram is you only get 1 hour.
Oh, or maybe did I invite you now or what?
I think you did. You just like called me or something. Dude, I'm like way off on this timing.
Yeah. Now your video's off on the
Yeah, YouTube. Dismiss us in prayer and we'll do this another time.
Hold on a second here. This is almost like Comedy Central now. Hey, I think this is a good lesson for the real world. This is the real world. You want authenticity? There you go.
This is great. You might as well just dismiss him in prayer so we can get up out of here.
All right, Father, thank you so much for who you are and what you've done. Thank you for your faithfulness. You're so good. I just believe this. I know you're a spirit, but I believe you're laughing right now at your creation and what we are doing like that. It's like my poor little children. So God help us. We need help. We love you so much. It is a privilege to serve you. Bless the people who are watching, those that'll be watching perhaps the replay, God. Our desire is to please you and to reach others, because we do not want anybody to be lost. And we know that is your heart more than even our heart, that you would save those that are lost. So use us to speak into this generation. So we give you praise. We thank you for every family that's represented. We thank you for Destiny and those that are connected, God. We give you praise. We love you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 All right, so. What the heck? So we're still on YouTube, right? Still showing up. I'm still on here by myself here.